Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Steins Gate, Season 1, Episode 10. Last episode, we had a pretty big highlight of Ferris. Yes. Yeah? She got to send a message.
She got to send an email.
Yeah, and that resulted in her dad being home, which...
Woo!
And also the entire city changing.
Totally different.
We don't know what the message is, but we speculated a decent amount in the discussion last episode. I feel like it's getting harder and harder to keep track of how many world lines we've crossed and what the change is between world lines. And I just feel like I'm along for the ride now.
Yeah, I feel like that's the intention. I don't know if we should be able to completely follow everything. We're not geniuses, maybe we need to be, but I think that this feeling of confusion and unknowing of, wait, what world am I in now? What's happening in this world line? Who knows who in this world line? Have we met Moeka? All of those different things. Do we have the IBN? All of that feeds into the viewer feeling even a semblance of the same feelings that Okabe is feeling.
I'm having fun, though.
Yes.
Ready?
Me too. Yes.
Sweet. The ending of last episode was so great. This must be so isolating, man. Oh no!
But Ferris, I thought, still had the cat ears.
She did. Obviously, Fairies did something, sent something that changed Moe ever coming to,
Akiba.
Yeah, Akiba. I'm still curious about the cat ears then. I thought that would have been the giveaway about if May Queen was still open.
I thought so too, but I guess it's just Ferris being Ferris. Still, even if she didn't affect her whole surroundings.
Have we done something that cannot be undone? This is the third time this has been the title.
It's an arc.
Apparently.
Suzuha.
Is this satellite crashed? It is.
And she probably won. Yep. Sounds about right.
I like how that's the constant.
So it's a constant that they'd be friends, too. I kind of like that.
God, yeah.
Makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Oh, that's one of your new favorite lines, yeah?
This is what I needed to hear my whole life. Still doesn't know about Ruka. To the pause there that...
No shot.
There's no way.
Still playing out the same.
No
Holy
freaking
shit.
way! No! Okabe, no! Change world lines. We gotta change world lines now. Immediately.
Why did we see Suzuha? Yes, actually, but what was she carrying?
So he explained about the D-mail that Ruka sent.
そりゃ戦士だからね。絶好のサイクリング日和だね。
そうか。
The Long Riders.
これをサイクリングというのか。
私さ、東京に来たのは父さんを捜索するためだったんだよね。
蒸発でもしたのか。
It is Okabe.
何年も会ってなくて顔も覚えていないんだ。父さんが持ってたピンバ
A
ッジ。
badge.
ならばのんきにバイトなどしている場合ではないだろう。
でも一度だけチャンスはあるんだ。ある場所に父さんが現れるかもしれない。私はこの町を離れなきゃいけないんだけどね。
不安なのだな。わかるぞ、その気持ち。だがしかし残念だったな、バイト選手よ。
Part-time
マ
soldier.
ッドサイエンティストであるこの俺に相談したのが運の月。お前は今日から
Letting her send a female.
俺たちの実験台となってもらう。
Oh god.
過去を変える。
Having her attempt to meet her father if it doesn't work tomorrow?
お前は蒸発する前の父親に D メールを送るのだ。娘を置いていくなとな。
君っていいやつだね。なんかちょっとだけ楽になったかも。心配してくれて。
You're just gonna leave him there?
お前の昇進を利用し D メール実験をしてやる。
さすがマッドサイエンティスト。悪逆非道だね。
I know, right?
今夜はオフ会があるから参加できないなどとふざけたことを言っていた。このメールを先ほど送っておいた。
フェイリスの手料理とオフ会、どっちを選ぶのだ？だってフェリスちゃんは来られないんで
It's
し
a
ょ。
trap.
ダルはこの作戦に参加する義務がある。
Dara's gonna be so upset.
バイト選手を尾行し状況を逐一報告する。
やめなさい。オカリンも一緒に買い出しに行こう。
俺は尾行を。
だからダメだっつってんでしょ。
俺に
Why do I still feel like it's him?
I know.
今度は3時間ほど。
さて
And she also has the disdain for Kurisu, who could potentially be keeping him. I don't know. I don't know.
どうしたのオカリン。
Red jelly.
これは
If Kiyoma's the green jelly for good, this must be
CERN.
the organization.
Organization.
すずさんはバイト選手だもんね。選手と言ったらやっぱり辛口だよね。やっぱり牛肉は高いよ。
Interesting.
ねえオカリン、さっきだっていつもなら機関の妨害工作でとても高いとか言ったりするのに。
俺だ。機関の妨害によりオペレーションアウズンブラの実行に予想外の出費が生じた。
一番星。
良いの明星か。
オカリンって小学生の頃
Is Venus significant
ことあったよね。
here?
マユシーはオカリンが死んじゃうんじゃないかってすごく怖かったんだ。マユシーは流れ星にオカリン死なないでって3回言ったの。そしたら次の日にはオカリンの熱が下がって目を覚ましたんだ。だからマユシーはオカリンの命の恩人なんだよ。
あの状況で助かったのはシュタインズゲートの選択だ。そうなのだ。
そっか。急に見ているものがぐにゃぐにゃしてきて立っていられなくてフラフラして体がビクッとなったって。この前フェリスちゃんのマンションでもオカリンそんな感じだったんだよ。
熱を出して倒れた時のあの感覚、世界線を移動した時の感覚にとても似ている。リーディングシュタイナーはまさにあの時この身に宿ったということか。
What?
ただいまー。おかえりなさい。
なんかいいし
What?
じゃあ卵を茹でててくれる？はーい。
Can you not?
電
Oh.
話レンジ使っていいかな？
Jelly egg.
アップルパイに椎茸もゆで卵も必要。い
サラダに使うのよ。
やいや、アップルパイに椎茸とゆで卵のサラダを付け合わせるのもいかがなものか。
Oh my god.
俺だ。どうやら邪神の気になってしまったらしい。
I love this show so much.
両親に伝えてくれ
Which is funnier because we don't even know his parents.
Yeah. Oh, poor Daru.
あんた騙されてるわよ。
せっかくタイムマシンオフ会だったのに、
タイムマシンオフ会
僕がよく見に行く SF 関係の BBS のオフ会、プロの作家も来る予定だった。
Is Daru Suzuha's dad?
未来ガジェット4号モアッドスネークだ
クレイモア地雷。
にもして瞬間加湿器だ
A humidifier.
やめろ
ごめんなさい、岡部さん。
The food's probably ruined.
これ使えるんじゃない？ですか？違うよ。未来ガジェット3
Yep,
号。
knew it.
5号だ
貸してみ。
待てそれを使うときは他の電化製品おブレーカーが落ちる
これですか？
違うルカシ、それ大根。
バルトだからブレーカーは弦大丈夫か何がおかしい
ごめんなさい。のいるアメリカの研究所って世界中から優秀な人たちが集まってるんだけど、で結構殺伐としてるのよのラボは。幼稚だけど居心地がいい。なんとなくそう思っただけというか。
これは友達が欲しかっただけなのかも
仲間だと思ってるよ。
This is what Suzuha's afraid of.
私あれ結構嬉しかったっていうか。
熱でもあるのか
ねえよ、何よせっかくあんた。
This episode is wild,
Okay.
man.
さん遅いね。かな。今頃水いらずの時間を
ラボには来いと言ったはずなのだが
She thought it was just part of the organization game
作戦は中止
thing, right?
お前たちはもう帰れやつめこの町を離れるつもりなのかこの法王隠居魔が許さんさあ一体どこに
By the satellite.
D メールを使ってあっても鈴葉を尾行しろとだがこれ以上 D メールを使ってもしてもいいのか
君っていいやつだね。
Got chills.
なんか
Music almost reminds me of Legend of Zelda.
I know.
ティスト
I know.
法王隠居があるというのだ
Everything with Kurisu could be changed. And the satellite's gone. But it still crashed. Did she take it? I don't know.
She's an alien. That was her spaceship.
尾行せよおはようバイト戦士見台となってもらうための最後の晩餐を開いたそうだな
実験はできなかったけどアドレスが分かんなかったから。
一つ確認したい俺は一体どうやってお前を確保した
私がタイムマシンオフ会から帰ろうとした。
Daru?
タイムマシンオフ会場所だったのか
うん。私の父さん。
Tight. What?
ジョンじゃなくてバレル。君、携帯ムービー撮ってなかったっけ？あんな居心地のいい時間は生まれて走ってみるよ。
Okay, that was Steins Gate, Season 1, Episode 10. Number 1. I love this show. Number 2. I'm mad that this episode ended. Number 3.
Is it 3?
I'm confused. And number 4. I love this show.
I feel like a little baby. I feel like it was such an enjoyable experience because the entire episode, I just had new theories popping into my head, which I knew, and then like literally 2 seconds later, I was like, oh no, that's dumb. Like, that's idiotic to like think or theorize, because you literally just get evidence pointing to a different direction right after. It's like, I kept feeling things tugging me in different ways, like tugging my mind
You know what
in
episode-
different directions.
This, like, I was gonna say that this does not compare to any other anime episode. I think our mod told us this, and I could be wrong, but without even thinking of the comparison, the one episode of anime that I compared this episode to was the Attack on Titan campfire scene episode.
I love that episode.
But, like, do you know what I mean? In tone, in, like, the sporadic sense of it, in, like, the different directions it's pulling you with, like, interpersonal relationships and complexities. Like,
right.
the Mayuri, the
So we
Kurisu.
had moments with Ruka. We had a moment with Suzuha. We had a moment with Mayuri. We had a moment with Kurisu. It was almost like I was watching an Okabe dating sim. In this episode, in the weirdest way, like, I almost could have seen connection between, like, multiple of those characters. And it was odd to, like, have all of that and then to actually it be taken to the next level where you get actual, like, blushing confirmation that Okabe called Kurisu companion. And then Mayuri kind of having, what planet is it in the sky over them when they're walking at night together? Venus. I'm like, and Mayuri has basically been his childhood friend for so long who is so worried about a distance growing between them. And I'm like, okay, that's childhood friend. You need that in the dating sim.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense.
Dude, do you think, I don't know. Do you think that Daru is Suzuha's dad?
So I'm going to tell you what my funny, like, theories
Suzuha's,
that felt
I don't
so
know.
stupid during the episode about Suzuha. I was like, okay. So if I'm going with Suzuha is Okabe before the Daru stuff, before the forum, we learn about the forum and that she went to, before any inkling that Daru might work into this theory, I was like, okay, if Suzuha is Okabe's daughter, then either she's Mayuri's daughter as well, and she's trying to stop Kurisu from, like, sliding in on her mom's man, or she is, she wants to meet up with her dad and have a good relationship with her dad, and she knows that Kurisu's the one person that would keep her, or keep him from interacting with her, or chasing after her or something. So I was going still very hardcore during this episode that, like, there's too many things pulling me in that direction of that craziness.
Yeah.
But that you have it up on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what
you.
So at the very end when Okabe's asking kind of for confirmation about how yesterday and last night went down to Suzuha, we get kind of these different pictures and interactions that happened that night at supper, and we get a shot of Suzuha with Daru, like, directly behind her. Like, it's very, like, it's very interesting. It's very interesting, you know?
Yeah.
And she was going to the forum to meet her dad, and he might not have shown up. It makes sense when we know that that text about Ferris could have totally changed exactly when, you know, Daru decided to go at all, decided to come home early. Did Okabe send the text or tell Daru beforehand, and so he didn't even show up to the forum?
Look, you just explained it. There's the obvious chance that that's what's happening, and Suzuha is the daughter of Daru, and there's also the chance that we're big idiots and she's not even from the future. I don't even know, man.
And she says that her father's name is Beryl Titer.
Yeah.
Beryl Titer.
And that the only thing that she has from him is a badge. And, like, I can't think of any badge at the moment.
We haven't seen any. I don't believe we have. And if we have, maybe we're having, like, big, dumb brain moments.
Yeah.
But that does not look familiar to me in the slightest of, like, any place we would have seen it. If it's hidden, it's a hidden Easter egg that I just have not noticed because my brain is so focused on trying to understand all of these world lines.
Such a good show, man. The dialogue and the voice acting. Oh my god. You said it at one point in the episode. Like, the timing on, like, certain words is so cool. It's so enjoyable.
It's a compliment that we've paid to this show before, that it almost feels like, I would say one of the hardest things for, I think, like, real life actors to do, and then probably even voice actors and all that, is to make it sound like a real conversation with a natural flow that doesn't feel scripted. And I feel like this voice acting job and then obviously following the animation of talking, it feels very just kind of natural.
Yeah.
And they feel like they are vibing off of each other. You know, they're pulling, they're playing. All of the characters have a very good back and forth.
Yeah.
That feels very natural. Like they are all very close friends.
What do you think about the fact that Ruka is a girl? So did that happen the second that the vegetable text was sent? And then that's a good, after you expand on that, a good segue into your favorite line of any show ever.
Okay, so one of my questions, and this is just that I don't know, you know, like the mandala effect?
Yeah.
I don't know if so Ruka in this episode, and I believe right after the vegetable text, has what seems almost like kind of a bra, like straps underneath the shirt.
Always had it.
Okay, that was my question. I was like, am I just imagining that the straps were even there when Ruka was a boy?
I believe that they were always
Okay.
there.
So, flat is justice. Flat is just that. I needed to hear that my entire life. No one has ever said that to me, and finally, in my 20-something years of age, I have heard the words that I always needed to hear.
Yeah.
And it made me so happy. I mean, I thought cute as justice was the
It
best
only
thing ever.
works as good because we already got cute as justice. I think that's what makes it.
You needed to have both. You couldn't just. I would have been like, okay, flat as justice. I like that, but it fills a void.
Yeah.
In my heart.
Man, I continue to be on the same path of trying to write down numbers and sequences and trying to catch something, but there's nothing to catch. Like, everything's just correct, seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's anything... What do you think about the whole I'm watching you? Like,
And the red jelly?
Yeah, PATGHQWSKM at 9... with the PNG FGAOTIU.
Mm-hmm. And we also don't know, in any of these world lines, if Okabe has had the "you need to be the Messiah" conversation. So we don't know that. And then we get this text, "I'm watching you," and then a picture of red jelly. Red jelly. Red jelly. They were doing some baking, and they decided they were out of green food dye, and they only had red.
Yeah.
And they thought red is a menacing color. So if I dye the jelly red, I'm reinforcing that Okabe's going down a path where he is going to be dead.
Yeah.
Dead jelly.
Dead jelly.
Yep.
What lab member was Suzuha? Do you remember? 8?
I believe so. I think I could be wrong, but I think.
The et started with the word 9 lab member. I don't know, man. I am loving this show. I cannot tell you, I cannot put into words how much I'm enjoying this. I think it's the editing. The music is great. The Legend of Zelda thing, I know. But
the music, it literally,
so good.
It sounds like, is it Twilight Princess that it reminds me of the most?
I'm sure that remake that
was the. I played that on the Wii.
Been revisited for several games, but I get what you're saying though. Oh my god. Do you think there's anything to the satellite crashing? She said she's gone. I'm sorry. Bye. It's not there.
And then it's not there anymore. Alien.
Alien.
But we looked up at the moon. We're looking at stars, falling stars, satellite, aliens.
Yeah.
Why else would it be? I mean, it was there. Oh, but then he switched world lines, so maybe the construction companies just got to removing it sooner in the world line that we're in at the end.
True. We also had such a great moment with Mayuri.
Oh, we haven't even talked about that, the
Yeah.
actual, what came of that conversation.
First of all, you touched on it too, but I also want to give it, attention that Mayuri's, awareness of who Ocarine is, right, is amazing, and it speaks wonders for what she feels towards him and what their characters' dynamics are when we haven't had the privilege of being able to see them be raised together and go through things together. But the whole interaction with Venus and the when you got sick and collapsed, and the fact that he doesn't remember it. I know that he was sick and a kid, but the fact that he doesn't remember it also fits in with the world line not remembering certain things that happened, so that is very
Right.
peculiar,
It
because
means
I wonder
in
if
this
it's a
world
butterfly
line,
effect.
in this world line, this interaction happened to him as a kid. Is it an effect of what he's doing now? Is what he's doing now
Did it give
changing
him the
his
eye?
his own past?
Yeah.
You know, in ways that he can't even perceive. So this is so
Everything
so
I
crazy.
saw began to flow together. And suddenly, I shook and couldn't stand up.
Like, it doesn't feel like this should be the first time that Mayuri's reminding him of this phrase.
Yeah.
'Cause she's like, oh, you looked like that in Ferris's condominium. And I'm like, but he's looked like that like 5 other times. And I'm like, oh, but they were all other world lines. And does that mean Mayuri hasn't been there for any of the other D-mails? Or like, what's going on here? That interesting that you're choosing now in this very almost this dark lit alley with the moonlight and you know, going with her falling star that she prayed on for him to tell us about this thing. It's almost like this is a nugget that he shouldn't be learning in this moment, but he is.
My intuition is like it's a loop, you know, like that's the start of it, or inevitably will be a decision that is made to first give him an ability, or I don't know, man. What
He's already done something that can't be undone. He's now affected his childhood self.
But-
question mark?
or he has, like, since we started the show, his childhood had already been affected by a future version of himself. Is what my go-to would
Maybe
be.
he makes it. Maybe he puts all of these seeds of delusion, you know, quote unquote, into his head as a child, making him want to pursue this mad scientist time travel life. Because according to Mayuri and Daru, Okabe has like always been like this.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
has been his personality. This has been dreams of his. He's been an inventor.
Yeah.
What if
I love the inventions, by the way.
mean-
Sidebar, loved every one of them. I'm so glad that we got to see them. But yeah.
the humidifier definitely worked?
Kurisu's moment this episode was massive.
Mm-hmm.
And not even just for Kurisu. More importantly, for Kiyoma. Because the whole... Okay, Lab in America, my Lab in America wasn't as fun. People had big heads. That's a big piece of information that we are definitely not going to forget about
Mm-hmm.
going forward. Because it could connect with Suzuha, could connect with CERN, could connect with her dad, or connections to
Tighter
CERN.
in a certain world line, because we do know in some world line in 2001,
Yeah.
he wrote a book.
Yeah.
In others, he didn't.
That's true. God, I wonder what it would be like if we just rewatched the series right now up until this
And
point.
what's interesting is every time we switch world lines, we don't get to check all those boxes of answering those questions. Okay,
Yeah.
in this world line, do we have the IBN? In this world line,
Yeah.
what is tighter to people?
It's such good storytelling. But my favorite moment was like out of nowhere when Kiyoma breaks a little bit, like the character, like I'm so like my eyes are glued when he was like, I wanted friends. I was like, holy shit, dude. I loved it. And then that inspires Kurisu to tell him what she did about what was the term that they
the
used?
companion.
Companions? Oh my god.
There's something about that's really, I mean, he might be one of the, I think he's probably rather himself and maybe vulnerable around his other friends, but there is something really special about this relationship that he's for. All of these other people, most of them anyway, that he spends most of his time with are people that have known him since he was a small child. And so there's already been connections made. They're already used to him. And so it means a lot more when we have that kind of break in character, when he has conversations or moments with Kurisu, like comforting her when she was crying, different things like that, where he kind of puts away this act that he had on, and he says something more vulnerable and real.
Yeah. What is your experience watching the show?
There's a state of my mind going in a bazillion places in a way that is not uncomfortable or not fun. It is fun. It feels like I'm playing a strategy game. I am kind of trying. I'm reading a really hard text that's in Old English, and I'm trying to decipher what it's saying. I feel like I'm studying, I'm working, but I'm also like, wow, I feel so stupid in the best way because everything's happening in front of me and I'm witness to all of it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun to be in a state of confusion and not having all the answers.
This show makes me feel like I've had to have said it before about like this sense of like nostalgic shock of appreciation, like revisiting an old thing that you loved as a kid and realizing like, oh, it's not that great, but as a kid, like you really like connected with it and it was something like you've never seen before. And this, I feel like it's just on such another, like I can only compare it in feeling that I have watching it to Death Note. And when we watched Death Note on the channel, we were very, very new to recording ourselves or talking about the shows we were watching. But while watching it, I was always left with this feeling of like, I really have to savor what I'm watching because I don't know if I'll ever watch anything like it again.
And the feelings that you
Yeah.
have, the viewing experience. I mean, there's so many things that I'm like, wow, what I would give to be able to just immerse into that for the first time ever.
There's something very amazing and extrinsic about these shows that have grand fighting scenes and amazing animation that is the feeling that you get in the moment, and even on
It's like
rewatches,
immediate gratification.
it is so like profound and amazing and like emotional too. But there's something so intrinsic about these shows like Death Note and Steins Gate that like
Even some of the parts of Mob Psycho.
I think that it's like it's not you can never say one thing flat out, right? Like everybody has their own opinions, but subjectively to the type of person that I am and the type of content that I like and introspection and everything like that, this feels such like a I don't know, it's just really, really great, and I'm really enjoying watching the show. It's awesome, and we're only a few episodes
10
in
episodes
still. Like, come on.
I think we both appreciate subtlety, and I think we, because less is sometimes more, and sometimes quiet moments are the loudest, and I think that we are a big fan of really smart writing and really smart storytelling, really smart storyboarding. How are you having your story progress, and are you aware of how you want your viewer to feel? And that's one of the main questions you have to ask yourself when you're about to write something is, how do you want your viewer to feel right now?
Yeah.
And you need to make sure you hit that. What can you do with these characters, and what can you have them say? What tone can you set that even maybe starts to put ideas in your viewer's head? And I think that this is an example of really smart writing.
This is one of those this is one of those series that I'm like, man, I'm gonna save up for a little bit and buy the entire manga series and just keep it on my shelf before we finish it. Or I feel so, I don't know. It's really, really hard to put into words, but I'm loving this so much, and it feels like I would love to know the process of writing, right? Because without going into any details for anybody who hasn't watched it, if there are anybody, but Attack on Titan, there were some moments in that story that you and I had wondered, like, the writing process. Do you finish the whole thing? Mm-hmm. Do you go back and then, after it's already a completed work, then do you rewrite certain scenarios so that the writing in turn would be more refined and better? I would love to know what the process of writing in this story is. I think it's great.
As a viewer, I feel like I'm being respected by this writing. I feel like I am not being treated as a child, which is really funny and paradoxical, contradictory. When I'm saying, coming out of these episodes, we're so confused, we're using words like that. That might imply that we feel stupid and actually
confused.
stupid.
I know exactly what's going on.
In this funny kind of dynamic, it also makes me feel incredibly respected that by being given this, that you are not dumbing anything down. You're making something that's complicated to think about, and that's kind of the fun part of the premise, is that it is complicated to think about, because what is time travel and the butterfly effect and all of that? Really dangerous, complicated stuff to think about. Truly.
Yeah, I love it. All right, that's all I have.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.
And always remember, flat is justice.